Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am doing myself a favor by meal prepping quite a few things for the upcoming week. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 11 and 15. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So today I am doing some meal prep. I have been finding that this has been kind of like a lifesaver for me, especially over the last few weeks, because when I don't meal prep, I do feel so much more unorganized. I feel like I'm stressing out more. So I have been finding that just taking a couple of hours, one day a week, and just prepping a few things for the upcoming week has made a huge difference. You can even see in this video, I'm still in my pajamas when I'm doing this meal prep. I'm still in my PJs here. So I just took a couple of hours this one morning. I think this was a Sunday. It was either a Saturday or a Sunday. And I'm just prepping a few things that I'm going to be needing for the upcoming week. Right now, I'm currently making bread. We have been going through a ton of homemade bread. So right now I am currently making just some, plain white sandwich bread that I could bake up, slice, freeze, and then we have it anytime that we need it. And I don't have to worry about it going bad because I do pop it in the freezer. It defrosts really fast on the countertop, or you can just pop it in the toaster if you want to make toast. So this has really made my life so much easier by prepping all of our bread for the upcoming week in one day, because I'm only pulling out all of the ingredients once. I'm only having to make a mess in my kitchen once. So this has really, really been helpful when it comes to my weeks, especially because we're kind of heading towards that end of the homeschool year and we tend to get a little bit busier. So, meal prepping and having things ready has been really helpful. So now I'm currently working on some cinnamon bread. This is another recipe that I share all the time on my channel because, oops, did you see that? My paddle attachment or my dough hook attachment just fell off. But I use this recipe all the time because it makes for really easy, French toast or cinnamon bread. So I know you guys, if you've been on my channel before, have seen these, but this is like real life meal prepping. These are things that we actually use. So those are the things that you're going to see me prep a lot, This bread, again, I love this bread. I feel like I knew when I was making this recipe this day that I should have doubled it, and I didn't. And I did regret it by the end of the week because we ran out of this, I think around Thursday. So we had, 2-3 days left in our week before I meal prep again without having this bread in our freezer. And I definitely felt a difference because this makes a really easy breakfast. Okay, so as the bread is rising, I'm going to prep a couple of freezer meals. I'm going to be making a marinade for cilantro lime chicken and also a marinade for beef fajitas. Now, what I love about doing this in advance, other than the, doing it at one time, the cleanup, it's all easy, convenient. I really love the fact that I could make a triple batch of this marinated, cilantro lime chicken or these beef fajitas. And I could just when I make this meal, I could just make a ton of it at once. And all of the prep work and all of the hard work is done with it. So I get multiple meals out of what I'm doing right now. And I really, really like that because both of these meals are like a family favorite. When it comes to dinner, my kids love the cilantro lime chicken. They love the beef fajitas. And you can serve some really simple sides with both of these. So a lot of the time I just serve these with some white rice and some kind of fresh vegetable. With the beef fajitas, we usually have bell peppers and onions with it, with white rice. And then, with the cilantro lime chicken, I'll make some kind of cucumber, tomato, avocado salad with some white rice. So really easy, convenient sides can go with both of these meals, which again, I love that. And another thing that I really enjoy about these marinated in advance meals is that, for one, you can freeze them if you want to. So if you're not going to go through them fast enough, you could pop them in your freezer and they still come out delicious once you take them out of the freezer and cook them. Another is that I love the fact that you can make it either on the stove or in the crock pot. Now, I love my crock pot. You guys know that, but sometimes I feel like when I use the crock pot too much, all of our meals feel like we're eating the same consistency. I hope that makes sense. So it's not necessarily the flavor, but it's the consistency of the meal, you know, of the cooked food. And sometimes I just don't want a crock pot meal because I want to be able to have a piece of meat that's not shredded, you know, or something like that. I hope I'm explaining that right. But that's what I love about these specific meals that I'm making today is that, again, you could use them in your crock pot or you could defrost them overnight in your fridge and, you know, cook them on your stovetop. And either way, they come out great. But again, sometimes it's the consistency of the food that I make in the crock pot that I get kind of tired of, not necessarily the flavor. So I hope that that makes sense. But another thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm only prepping things that I know I'm kind of, you know, going to be going through. I know that sometimes people will prep a whole bunch of stuff in advance and freeze it and they have, you know, a month's worth of like bread or prepared meals. I do not have the freezer space for that. So a weekly meal prep is kind of what I have to stick to unless I buy another freezer. So there's no way for me to prep so much in advance. It has to stick to weekly. I would love to do a monthly meal prep and just take like one whole day or a weekend and prep everything, you know, for a month, but we're just not there yet. We do not have the space for that. And again, I'm just trying to do things to make things easier for my family because this is definitely something like these marinated meals or prepared meals that my husband can cook. You know, my oldest daughter could pull out of the freezer and plop into the crock pot. So it's kind of like if I can't do it, my family can do it really simple as well. So it just keeps it really convenient and it keeps us from buying, you know, fast food or junk food. Okay, so now I decided to go ahead and prep all of the bell peppers that I'm going to be using to go with the fajitas later this week. Because I am making so much like fajitas, like I'm marinating so much beef for the fajitas, I wanted to make sure that I was going to have the bell pepper available and I didn't want it to go bad. So what I decided to do is just to go ahead and slice all the bell peppers up, slice up an onion, and then freeze them so that, you know, over the few days that we'll be eating these fajitas, I can make the bell peppers each day so that they're still kind of fresh and not like soggy. Because, you know, when you make bell peppers, when you heat them up and they don't reheat well, I feel. I feel like bell peppers don't really reheat too well, at least not the way that I'm going to be making them. So I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing. But so what I wanted to do is I wanted to just kind of prep a couple of bags of bell peppers and onions that I could just, again, pop in the freezer so they don't go bad and just pull them out when I need them. Okay, you guys, so something that I've been kind of struggling with is not getting in that Starbucks line. So I do love my fancy coffee and I like to get, you know, different refreshers and stuff there. But you guys, it costs so much. When I looked at the price of the coffee that I drink, it was like $7 for a cup of coffee. So I was like, no, I'm going to try and make some like copycat recipes at home. So this is like a copycat recipe for their like, I think it's like their pineapple refresher or paradise refresher, something like that. It's like pineapple, passion fruit, coconut. I'm making it at home and honestly this came out so good, you guys. Like I can't even tell the difference between this one and the one that you would buy for $5 million. So I'm really glad that I took the time to try this out. My kids love this as well. So I can make this anytime for a fraction of the cost. So again, I will link the copycat recipe that I found on Pinterest down below if you're interested. But having something like this on hand is a lifesaver because if I'm going to leave, usually if I leave my house, that's when I want a Starbucks. When I leave, I could just put this in a to-go cup. And now I don't feel like I need to stop and spend $7 million on a refresher. Okay, so now I've moved back to prepping the bread. So this bread has been rising for about an hour, and now I need to add the cinnamon, sugar, and butter mixture to the cinnamon swirl bread. And then I need to shape all 3 of these loaves and put them in loaf pans and let them rise for another hour. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now, but I mean, you guys have seen me prep bread like this all the time if you've been on my channel. So while I'm doing this, I kind of wanted to talk about and give an update on another video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about not knowing what history program to use with my kids next year for our homeschool. And let me just say, I'm still not 100% on the program that I want to use, but I am really, really leaning towards Guest Hollow now. Like, it's looking really, really good each time I look at it again. And so many of you, thank you, by the way, to so many of you that commented and gave feedback about the different programs that I was considering. Knotgrass is still a little bit on the table, though. I still keep on going a little bit back and forth when it comes to it, but I'm like really leaning towards Guest Hollow now. I mean, everybody that commented about Guest Hollow, they had nothing but great things to say about the program. So that was like really reassuring. So I am kind of leaning towards Guest Hollow. I mean, you will see my curriculum picks probably in July anyway, but I just wanted to pop on here and just kind of say thank you to everybody that reached out, that left feedback about the programs that I was considering, because it was extremely helpful. So thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. Okay, so next up, I'm actually making some banana bread. Now, I wasn't planning on making any banana bread today, but I had a little bit of time in between waiting for my bread to rise and wanting to start the batch of granola that I'm going to be making. And I really didn't want to sit down because if I sit down, I'm not going to get back up and do anything. That's just one of the things, you know, that's just one of my things, that if I stop moving and I stop being productive, then I'm pretty much done for the day. So I try not to sit down while I'm doing meal prep because, yeah, it just doesn't work out in my favor. But I am currently whipping up a batch of banana bread, and I know that looks like a lot of sugar. This is really good banana bread, though. I've been making the same recipe for years. Now, what's funny about this banana bread is that I started making this when my kids were younger. And, you know, when your kids are younger, they have like these tiny little, you know, toddler hands. And I used to make my banana bread really, really thin so that when they grab a slice of banana bread, they could just hold it in their hand without it like mushing or falling or breaking. So my banana bread, I still make like that. I will still make banana bread really thin to where it's like made for toddler hands. And my kids are, you know, 11 and 15. But one time I tried to make this banana bread as like a full, big, thick loaf. And my family had like the biggest problem with it. They were like, what's wrong with the banana bread? And I'm over here like, nothing. That's like what it's supposed to look like. I used to make it, you know, smaller because you guys were young. And they were like, no, we like it better the other way. So I'm still making banana bread for toddler hands over here, even though my kids are not toddlers anymore. Okay, so next up, I am prepping some smoothies for the upcoming week. I'm only going to make about a week's worth because, again, I don't have a lot of freezer space, but I am just making some blueberry, like Greek yogurt, banana smoothies for myself. I've been finding it really challenging to remember to eat breakfast. Even though I make breakfast for my kids, I always skip breakfast, you guys. I don't usually eat what my kids eat in the morning. So for me, it's usually a cup of coffee when I wake up, and then usually a second cup of coffee around 11:30 noon. And then I don't eat until lunch. So I'm trying to get in the habit of at least having some kind of smoothie or, you know, just something small and convenient and easy for me to eat so that I can actually remember to have breakfast. So prepping these smoothies in advance, I think, are going to help me with that. Now, a couple of months ago, my dog had an allergic reaction to blueberries, and it was really, really scary, and it kind of like traumatized me, right? So these blueberries I found in our deep freezer, and I just kind of wanted to use them up and get them out of my house because although we'll still eat blueberries, I don't know. I'm still kind of in panic mode when it comes to blueberries because of my dog. But I mean, we even grow blueberries in the backyard. I mean, it is in a fenced in area, but still, you know, I get panicky with blueberries because my dog had that allergic reaction. But anyway, back to the video. We're here for meal prepping, not me panicking. So this is my attempt at having an easy breakfast on hand for myself because, again, that is something I'm trying to focus on, is eating breakfast, not just drinking coffee. Okay, last up, we have Granola. So I am making a really, really large batch of Granola. That is vanilla granola. I just messed up saying it one time and now that's what my family calls it. So this is our favorite granola recipe like ever. We are always coming back to this one. I've tried so many different granola recipes and some of them are really fantastic, but we're always coming back to Granola. It is so, so good. And I'm really trying to cut back on purchasing like boxed cereal right now. So granola is something I definitely need to focus on making more often, because my kids, for a hot minute there, they were eating cereal in the morning quite a few days a week. And I've just been really struggling with getting up and making breakfast right away and just getting my day going. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was like on it, you guys. I was up before the kids. I had my first cup of coffee, alone watching the sunrise, and it was just glorious. And I got so much done. Well, you know what? I'm not there anymore, you guys. Something happened. I don't know what. And I got tired. And now I'm having a really hard time focusing on getting like a hot breakfast in front of my kids or something more homemade. And I want to get back to that, because I used to make a hot breakfast every single day. Every single day. If it wasn't a hot breakfast, it was some kind of granola with yogurt and fresh fruit. And I really want to get back to that again. I mean, I used to be in such a fantastic routine. And just, everything just, it's not there. I'm not there anymore. My routine is not there anymore, and I'd like to get back to that. So it's really important for me to meal prep something for breakfast too. I know a lot of people focus on, making sure they have, a healthy lunch available and dinner ready so that, when they're tired at the end of the day, they just have something simple and easy but still delicious. But for me, you guys, it's breakfast that gets me a lot of the time. It's breakfast that I need to plan and prep for. But again, this is our favorite granola recipe. I will link it down below, and I'll link the video that I made on it before. We just absolutely love this one. So if you guys try it, let me know what you think of it. So that is it for today. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.